Hello everyone, my name is Yogesh and today I will be recording lecture over complex queries interview question SQL Server 2016. Now this lecture is a second part of the previous lecture which was just complex query interview question in SQL Server that I recorded a long time ago. Now because of the new features we came like into SQL 2012 and 2016, so I wanted to show you those. Also in this lecture we will be covering few interview questions which are practically interview questions. You can relate to them because those are generally asked in interviews. Second, these functions which features I will be telling you, like new features which have came into 2012 and 2016 T-SQL, which helps you to write a single line of query which can do a task of like 20 or 30 line of code which you have to customly design. So these things are very important. And third one was one query I will show you. One question came into one written test that was for like they have given a query and they asked for optimizing. So I will show you that one query because only one query I am covering is because there will be a separate lecture on performance optimization, but for now only one query I will be covering. So now before starting this lecture, I will be telling you the first thing I will be covering this one, and the database I am using is Northwind, which you can find online, but also I have added few new tables, so I will be uploading this backup for this database as well along with my this SQL script so that you can use this database for your you can say practice. Now I will be starting with SQL 2012 and 2016 T-SQL features. So before starting that, I want to brush up you like regarding this over operator, because there will be a lot of new things came with this over operator, and I want you to be like fully aware of the concept. There may be people who already know, but just for brushing up, I wanted to show you like what this operator do. Now the basic, the simplest function which is used with this operator is row number. Now the people who know the row number, they can understand easily, but if you don't know, you don't have to worry. It is a simple function provided by SQL Server. In this with this function you can generate sequence number with each record, whatever the row is returned by the your select query. Now along with this row number you need to use, it is mandatory to use this over operator, and within the over operator you have to provide according to what order row number should come. Now as I am getting data from categories and product table, I am getting category name and the product name. So row number I am producing on the product ID, because one category can have multiple products, so I want this row number for each product instead of just for the category. So and also I want it to come as a product wise, not as a category wise. So if I run this query, it gives me a simple output. One is this row number column, which is just a continuous sequence of number, second category name and the product name. Now this is a simple one use of this row number and over operator. Now there is one requirement. Like you can see, there are multiple categories like beverages, condiments, produce and so on, seafood. So what I want is, I want to produce this row number, but I want that row number to reset whenever a new category comes. Like for one category, like there are 12 products, it will give 1 to 12. For the next category, when it start again, it should reset the row number by 1. So let me show you this query output. Now here you can see, for one category I have this 1 to 12 sequence. Whenever the new category start, it reset again to 1. So here you can relate. And there is one more column which is just a continuous number like a previous one. So how I am able to do that? I am using this row number function with this over operator. Order by product ID is same. Just one thing I added is partition by category ID. So whenever the new category ID will come, it will reset the value again to the 1, so that it will like show you like there is a row number happening for each category, like a partition are created for each category. So you can see how it happens is, I just added one more extra thing within the over operator, that is partition by category ID. So this is just to show you how like partition by works. To add up one more example to it is, like right now if you see this query output, what is happening is we are getting this row number for each category resetting to 1, but this is continuous row number. So here what I want is only one number to be assigned to the one category. Means for beverages it should be all 1, for condiment it should be all 2, and like this sequence number. So how I can do it, I am using here dense rank function, which is also like a row number function, but it gives ranking. Ranking means for one value only one rank will be assigned. So for beverages only one will be assigned, for other category one more number to be assigned, that will be unique to it, because ranking is because for the same values only one number will be assigned. So let me just show you the output. So here you can see for beverages all category wise row number is 1. For next category again it set to 2, then continues for the confection again, then dairy product set to 4, and so on. And also this product wise row number is all automatically resetting whenever the new category is coming, you can see. So this was just an introduction to you, like regarding row number and dense rank function, and partition by clause, partition by operator within this over operator. Now the main things come. Now before that, this is a simple query. Here what I am doing is I am joining two tables. One is product and order details table, and what I am doing is I am getting the product and the total quantities, total amount, amount, sorry, total amount of that product has been sold. So if you see the output, it is just simple, this product has been sold for so many dollars. So it is very simple to understand. Now what I want to I will be using this query as a sub query. So here you can see the same query I copy pasted and give a name like alias as T. And now what I am doing is I am using again sum. I am saying product name, total amount, whatever the output of this query. Second, I want to sum the total, but here you can see there will be no group by, because I am doing it on the T alias. So now there will be no group by. I am summing this total and I am saying over and order by product name. One column is there, that's the product name. So second column I already doing summation. So what I am saying is sum the total amount and using over operator, order by product name. So what it will do is it will generate you a running total value. Now what is running total? Now for the first value it is the same, but for the second value it adds these two values. For the third value it is adding all three values. For the fourth value it is adding the all four values, and for the fifth it is adding all the 5 values. Or you can say it is adding the fourth running total with the next value. So kind of like fourth running total added to the next one is equal to the next running total. So this is how you can achieve the running total. Now the people who are in the reporting or in any place where they have to present the data, they know running total is very common thing asked by the client, because this is the cumulative value. So this is how you can achieve by using sum operator or any aggregation operator and using over operator and giving the order by. Now the question is, now I can see product is there, total is there, running total is there. Now there is also category. So what I will do is with the categories, what I did is I just added one category ID to the output. You can see category ID is output added to the same query. And second, what I am doing is I am joining it with the categories table to get the category name. So why I am doing this is to get the running total value, but it should reset whenever the new category is coming. So here you can see running total value is incrementing for this beverages. The moment next category comes, that is condiments, the next category come, it again reset to the initial value. For the next category when confections comes, so again you can see it is set to this one. So how it is working is it is same, total same. What I am doing is I am summing the total, order by product name, but partition by category ID. So what I'm saying is whenever a new category comes, also reset your running total. So it is very simple, and you can see how this thing can be achieved by just single line of code. And I know the people who are from the reporting background, they know how it is difficult, how much difficult it is to set these running total again back to the initial value whenever the new category comes. They can do on the reporting, but from the query side it was very difficult previously. So now this was all about this over operator. Now coming toward two new functions that are lead and lag. Now what this lead and lag function do is, for lead I can get the front the next row value, or next, or any you can say upcoming row values, and with the lag function I can get the previous row value. So here what I am doing is I am getting the customer ID, customer company, then order date whenever the person that customer placed the order. Also I am getting the next order date, when the next order is placed, and when the previous order was placed. So let me just show you the output. Now here for the next order value, now you can see it is 8th month 25th date, and for the next order is 10th month and 3rd date, and you can see in the next order value I'm able to get the next order. So here you can see for this one, after 3rd there was next order on 13th, so I can see there is a 13th value. So this was the lead function. Now this is the lag function. So for the first record there will be no previous value. So what it is doing is it is getting the for the second record it is getting the first record value here, and for the third record it is getting the second record value. Now why this is required? Because let me give you a simple example where this query implies. Suppose you have a customer base and your management asks you to get the customer who place the orders more frequently. Now how you will be able to justify, to figure it out which customer place order frequently? By getting their order history. And how you will compare is you will compare their current or one order with the next order and see what is the difference between number of days difference between those two orders, like 1 day, 2 day or 100 days. So you can, with that days difference, you can figure it out like which customer is placing frequent order and which are not. So how it is working is I am saying same lead get me the next order date over partition by. Why I am doing with this one is because if you see the output for this customer when I am getting, so for the next order for this customer only I am getting. When the new customer comes, then I should get the next order for the new customer. So I have to reset this again and again. So wherever there is a reset, there will be a partition by clause. And so what I'm doing is partition by company name. So whenever the new company name comes, again start you can say fetching from the new company instead of doing it from the old, and order by order date. So if I get my output, so here you can see whenever, so this is like 6th record. So this was the 6th order of this customer, so there is no next order, so there will be null. And for this one first order there will be no previous one, so it is null. So you can see for the next customer again the last value, last order have next day order null, and for the previous day. So that's why the partition by I used. So here you can see and you can understand. Now this lead and lag you can search it on Google and do some more practice, because just not the next row you can get like 3 rows leaving and getting the 5th row data and 4th row. So that thing you can try and figure it out. But this is whenever if you have been asked in an interview or in a written test how you will get the next order value and all. So here these are the functions which can help you in. Now coming to the further more things. It is the same query which is I'm using above. So what I'm doing is here I'm calculating the day difference, which I told you, like getting the most frequent buyer. Now let us see what is the history. So what I am doing is I am just getting the date diff in the date difference between order date and the next order date, which is these two, and here I am able to get 39 and all. So for this customer I can see this customer placed all the order within the 100 days. But if I see the next customer, he is placing like very rarely, like after 324 days or 112 days. So this is not the frequent buyer, but this is the potential frequent buyer, because you can see the difference, day difference is decreasing instead of just increasing. For the next customer also you can see, so here you can see the days difference is decreasing. It means this customer is happy with you. So if there is a customer whose days are increasing, then there is a problem. You have to call the customer and ask like what is the problem and so on. But the thing is these kind of report help, and now because of this lead and lag function, it's now very easy to get the values and all. Within the SQL Server you don't have to go to create SSRS report and all. Now after this I want to brush you up with the basic concept of paging. Now if you are a .NET developer or any developer, you will be able to like relate to this one. Now in this SQL Server, suppose you want to do a paging. Now what is paging is, suppose on the UI there are like the person is showing data in the grid, and in that grid it is showing 10 record at a time. Your table is having thousands or millions of records, but it is showing only 10 records. So on the first page the record will come from like you can say row number 1 to 10. For the second page the record will come from 11 to 20. For the third page record will come from 21 row number to 30th row number. So how you calculate is with these two variable I'm using is page number and page size, and then start page and end page. Now page number, which page number I want to get, and what is the page size. So start page is like page number into page size, that is like 10 into 3 30, minus the page size, that is 10, so it becomes 20 plus 1, because this will be my first record 20, because of for the third page what is the first record, 21 to 30th row number, and for the end row it's directly page number into page size. So this is here I am able to get these two values, and here what I am doing is simply I am generating the row number 1 2 3 4, and outside I am adding a between clause between start and end. I want to get the row, so I am getting the third page, so I will be getting 21 to 30. Now why I am showing this one is because if you are a developer you will be already knew about this one, like this logic, but this logic was used previously. Now a new thing came is offset and fetch. In SQL Server, if suppose you want to skip first, because third page number, as I told you, it means 21 row number to 30th row number, means you are skipping first 20. So in this simple syntax, what you have to say is, you want offset 20 means you want to skip first 20, order by you have to give anyhow, without that it won't work. Offset you are saying like I want to skip 20 rows and then I want to get next 10 records. So if I run this, it is getting me the same output, but the row number is not coming, that you can anyhow generate. Now the thing is, if I just see and compare the execution plan of these both queries, you will be able to find out, yes, there is a difference. This query old row number mechanism is quite expensive compared to the this offset and fetch one, and if you see the rows other than this row number column, you can see the data is matching. So now for paging, you don't need to write that same again complex, you can say like not even the complex, but the traditional thing you should not use. You can use this offset and fetch. Also I just made it dynamic here by doing the variable, instead of just you directly writing 20 and 10, I am just replacing it with the formula, so that you can see like you can make it dynamic as well. Let me just turn off this execution plan. Okay, now there are like as so many function I have showed you, and I like over operator, we can see we can use lead, lag, sum with this over operator. Then we have this offset and fetch thing. Now there are two more functions, that is first value and the last value. Now suppose like the same example, let me just show you first and then we'll discuss. Suppose you have a situation where you want to find the difference between the order date compared to the first order when the customer is placed, or you want to you can say get the difference with the last record, when was the last order placed with all the orders. So you need the last and first value. So how you will you are able to get is, there are two new functions are there, that is first value and the last value, and the syntax is totally same. Partition by customer name and order by, why I use select one is like in whatever order they are in, so you can use anything whatever you like as per your data. So if I execute, so what I am getting, first value of this group. So the first order was placed on 825, so 825 all the rows, and the last order was 49, so all the rows are 49. Now for the next, as I am partitioning by company name, so for the first order is on 34, so all are 34, and the last order was on 918, so last order was 918. So like getting the last and first value along with all the records, so you can use first and last value functions. So as now you can see, so many things are there. So this query I just built to show you, like as I told, like recommendation I want to make. So if the customer is like what I'm doing is everything is same, I am able to get lead and lag like first and next order. Then what I'm doing is I'm calculating the average difference between two dates in here in this query, and when I'm getting is I'm just giving them a number 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4, why I am giving them okay, let me just show it you so that it should make more sense. Start from CTE 2. So why I am giving is like I want to differentiate between like 2 means like normal, or you can say frequent buyer, or 3 means is good or something like that. I want to give them. So what I'm doing is here I'm calculating the date difference, between the same what we were getting above, and as per the date difference, like if the average date difference is 30, then give the tag 1. If it is 30, then give the tag greater than 30, give the tags 2 or something, and between 90 give the 2, and greater than 90 give the 3, and so on. So kind of that. So this, why I'm doing is, later on I am using this choose function which came in SQL Server 2012. In this you just need to pass a number and the values array, like the comma separated. So if the value is coming 1, it will give important. If value is coming 2, it will give recommended. If value is coming 3, it will give normal, and if it is 4, then ignore. So let us see the output. I know I have just taken a complex example to just denote the simple functions, but you can check it later as well. But let me, okay, so you can see the output. As per the flag, I change the value. So here, this is a simple representation of this one. There are two functions. One is IIF. If you are reporting user, you already knew this function. If you are not, so what this function is doing, like a case clause, like you have to do a case and all that, you don't need now. So you can do, like, if 1 equal to 2, then A, else B. So it is giving else now. If I run it again, so it will give me A now. So it is directly case statement. Or also, like you do the nested case, you can do nested if. Here what I did, if, then if, and then if. But there is a one thing, it can go up to 35 level. That's the same, you can say constraint applied to the case statement. You cannot nest more than 35 level. Then there is a choose, as I told you. This is a comma separated array of the values, and here whatever the values you will pass in the first one, like third row value you want to get, so it gave you ghost. If I say 1, it will give me error, sorry, hello. So here you can see, so it is simple. If you give something which is more than that, it will give null. So it's very simple. Now there is one more thing that is called as concat function, came in SQL 2012 and same using in 2016. Why I'm using is, let me just make you show you example. So here what I'm doing is I am declaring two variables, var1 and var2. var1 has best and second has friend. So here I am concatenating with plus operator, and here I'm concatenating using concat operator, concat function with comma separated. So the output remains same, but if I make this one as null, and if I see the output again, so the first become null because adding best with space and then with null it becomes null, but concat is able to handle null properly. So now if you want to get rid of any problem related to null coming and nullifying your output, you can use concat, and it is very good for concatenating the string. Now these are the complex queries. Now as I told you initially, we will be covering few interview questions. Anyhow, all these questions I covered, these are also interview question you can use in written test or something like that, but these will be the interview question which I came across. So now this is one simple question. Now in this, what I have is, I have one table called cities, and basically I am adding countries, so sorry for the giving the wrong column names and all. But the thing is, suppose I have 4 teams and I want to set the match between all the 4 teams, like India versus Australia, India versus Sri Lanka, and India versus England, and so on. So like if there are 10 teams and between them, but what I want is, I should not repeat it. Like India versus Australia happens, then Australia versus India should not happen because it's already happened. So how I will be able to doing, first I am got the data in this temporary table. Second, what I am doing is, I am joining the same table but not with the same ID. What I am saying is, because I have to do the cross join. Why cross join? Because I have to create a pair with India with all 3, Australia with other 3, Sri Lanka with other 3. So I have to do a cross join. You can say outer join. So here I inserted that into the team. So here if we see the team data, here you will find all the combination, Australia versus India also, and India versus Australia also, India versus Australia also. So now this is like a raw data. Now we will filter it out. Means if Australia versus India happened, so India versus Australia should not happen because it's already the same. Now how it works is, if you see one thing, for this record, from ID is equal to, so like here Australia versus India and India versus Australia, then this record happens. So from ID is equal to 2ID for this record, and 2ID for this record is from ID for the other record, because these are like ID to the countries. So anyhow, these two record represent like from becomes to and to becomes from, in when the countries are same, just the values are crisscross. So what I have to do is I will be getting joining this team with team, where from ID of, as I told you, from ID, this one, equal to to ID of the next record, and to ID of the current record to the from ID of next record. So I want to get that output, but I want to get where from ID is less than to ID. Why this condition? If I don't put this condition, it won't ignore the other values where the values are same, because again it gave India, England, and England, India. So to ignore that, I added the condition. I want to get the first record, whatever is coming, like Australia versus India is coming, so let it come. So here you can see Australia versus India is there, but there is no India versus Australia. Sri Lanka versus India is there, but there is no India versus Sri Lanka. So kind of with this condition I am able to ignore the values which are like noise values, which I don't need. So when you will, I will be sharing the script, so you can just run line by line and see how it is working. Okay, now coming to the one more question. The second highest or nth highest salary. Let me make it nth highest. So why this is very important is because this is a very common interview question, very common interview question. You will find you have employee table or a student table or any table, get the second highest salary, or getting the student which have the second highest marks and all. So how this works is, suppose your company is having three salaries like 60,000, 50,000 and 40,000. Suppose this 60,000 there are 10 people. For this one there are 14 employees in your company, and for this one there are 16 employees company. But there is one thing common. What is the second highest value which has only having one salary greater than it? I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the salary. What I'm saying is, if I talk about third highest salary will be the salary where there are above there are two salaries more than that in the organization, which are 50,000, 60,000. So if I say first highest, means there is zero salary above this salary. So it is always one less. If it is first record, there should be zero record above this one. If it is second record, there should be only one salary above it. Or if it is the third, then there should be only two salary above it. So that you can understand, that is minus one. Third means there should be two. Two means there should be one, and one means there should be zero. So here in this query, this n minus 1 denotes to that. If it is 2, it should be 1, like you can say above salary above it. So how I am doing is, I am having this employee table and creating the subquery, joining outer employee with the inner employee, where I am putting the condition inner employee salary is greater than outer employee salary, and getting distinct count of the salary. Why distinct count? Because as I told you, if there are 10 people, so the thing is, if I see, like I say what are the number of salaries above 50,000, so it will give me the 10 record, because there are 10 people. If I do the distinct salary, it will give me only one. That's why I need distinct clause here. So here I am saying calculate the count of salary which is above my salary. If that count is, like suppose I'm getting second highest, its count is equal to 1, means only one salary is greater than me, then that is the person, you can say that is the salary greater than me, so means I am the second highest salary. So if there is any record which is having, you can say two salaries above me, people who are having salaries, but if I calculate distinct salary and getting two records which are above me, means I am the third highest salary pair getting, you can say, getter. So here I am able to get the second highest. If I have to get the third highest, sorry, so I can get, these are the people who are getting the third highest, you can say third highest salary, the 50,000, and if I do it 1, so I got the salary which are the maximum salary. So just to clarify, what I will do is, I will just show it to you also. There are only these salaries. So the first is wait a second, order by salary descending. So here you can see the first is 70,000 as our result came, and the second is 60, and third is 50. So let us see. First is 70. These many people are on the 70,000 salary. On the 60,000 only one person is there, and on the third there are so many. So this is how you are able to get. But why this example I test? Just not because it is very common, but there was one more question it was asked. They want second highest salary as per department. Now here the complexity comes. Now as I told you, what this ranking function do, for each value it will assign one number. So suppose there are 10 people having 50,000 salary, so it will assign them only one number as a rank. If there are 20 people having 60,000 salary, they will assign only one. So suppose there are 70, 60, 50,000, so it will assign only 3 ranks. All people with 70 will assign 1, all people with 60 will assign 2, all people with 50 will assign you can say 3. So how I am doing is, I am saying partition by department, because for each department I want to re-rank all the people, and order it by salary, because as I told you, for each salary it will give a only unique rank. With this, what I am able to get is all the people and what are their ranks as per their salary. Second, because now as I told you, for the second highest, now if you see the example, now human resource has 4 people, first 3 people are getting 70,000, so rank is 1, and the fourth person is having 30,000, so it is getting 2 rank. Now as I am partitioning it again by, you can say, department, so for each department the rank will set again back to 1, 2, 3. Now if you see this information service, this has 3 people having 50, 40, 30, so all 3 are different, so 1, 2, 3 is assigned. For marketing, you can say production, let us take. So in production, what is happening? 2 people are on 70,000, so those got rank 1. 2 are in 50,000, got rank 2, and other 2 are in 40 and 30, so 3 and 4 rank is given. So you can see rank is doing our task. So means the second highest salary will be where the rank is 2. Simple. Okay, as per department. So I am partitioning by department. So this is one of the simple question they asked. Now there was one more thing, like we have employee table. Now in the employee table there is a manager ID. This is very common question in CT. Usually people use this, like recursive CT creating. Like I want to get all the people who works under manager ID 2. Like there are 3 people directly, and there are under those 3 people there are 4 people more. So I want to get all the childs. So it's very simple. This is a recursive CT. The first I am getting direct child to manager. So I got this. Then I am giving the CT, and in the union all I am joining employee with this CTE itself. So means if there are these 3 childs are of manager 2, like you can say employee of manager 2, so if they are manager of someone, so this employee ID will be their manager ID. So that is the basic simple thing I am doing. What I am doing when I am joining this employee with this CTE, here I am saying manager ID should be equal to the CTE employee ID. Okay, because already these will become manager to some other person. So this I am joining, and this is just recursive CT. It will automatically get you all the childs under who works directly or indirectly under manager ID 2. Okay, now getting the duplicate record, this is very common question, but comes with a different variation. Now in the employee table, they want to say like there are some duplicate people, like entries for the same people. Duplicate entry, how you can just like identify for same employee ID. If 2 records are there for same employee ID, means that is duplicate, because employee ID should be unique. So what I am doing is I am generating the row number as it is, whatever the sequence. This select 1 means whatever the sequence, just give me the same sequence. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 generated. Now what I am saying is get me all the records where the row count, you can say row number count, is greater than 1, where employee ID for inner CT is matching with the outer CT. So I am matching the employee ID, but the row count. So suppose there is okay, let me just show you the first example. Suppose employee ID 1 is passed. So here 1 is passed means I want to get if I just, oh sorry, I have to make it 1. Let me make it 1 and run this subquery, simple subquery. So it will give me, okay, it's because of CT, oh sorry. So if I it won't run because it is connected CT. So what I'm doing is, for employee ID 1, it will pass 1 here. So I am getting wherever there is one ID equal to, like outer CT is equal to, I'm joining with inner CT, so means suppose there are 2 records for one ID, it will give me 2 row number count, means there are 2 row number exist. So if there are like employee ID 2, for employee ID 2 suppose only 1 record exists, so the total number of row number are only 1. So with this one I am able to get the duplicate records. Here you can see for employee ID 19 there are 2 row numbers. So what I'm saying is, if the row count is, you can say, greater than 1 and something like that. Okay. And now comes the pivot one. Pivot, there is, see, there is for this CT recursive there is a special lecture. I think it is like a grandparent and child relationship. I have a lecture. I will share the link in the description of this video. You can find there so that you can be clear with this CT and how this recursive CT works. Second, this pivot also we have a separate lecture. So as this was just an interview question, so I just want to get show you this one. So it is just nothing. I am getting you can say department and year, in which year how many people joined. Now if you are aware with the pivot what it does, it can generate, you can say translate, you can say transform your data from row wise to column wise. So what I am doing is I am generating column for each year and showing the amount, like a number of people joined in that. So here I can see in human resource in 2006 1 person joined, for 2008 2 person joined, and 2009 1 person joined, so on. So pivot is a simple one. So here you can see as this is the query, so you can just look into it. Okay, now there was one more interview question. It was asked was like, there was a string given, they just asked like they want to get a number of correct, you can say number of spaces within the string. So how it happens is, calculate the length of the string, subtract the length of string after replacing space with nothing. So it will give you the count of space within the string. It's simple, but there is one difference. If there is a space like in the end, so length function ignores that. So for that you need to use data length function, because length function don't include the, you can say post like string spaces and all. So data length give you proper example. Now this was now this is the one which I was talking about. This is a simple query. What here the person is doing is, he is selecting the students and getting the date of birth, year when the student was born, and getting the maximum date from the table student for that year when this in the DOB section. So suppose you are like the person born in 1991. So this subquery will give me when was the last child born in the 1991. So the record for the last child will be returned. So this is one query. I will show you how bad it works. It takes around 1.5 minutes to just give you the output. Let us just wait for a minute, sorry. Okay, in the meantime it executes. Let us cover what we covered was, we covered over operator with row number and dense rank function. Also then we did running totals here using over with sum, which comes after in 2012 SQL 2012 and still working in 2016. Then we use the partition by, for each category we again reset the running total. Then we use the lead and lag function with this over operator. So everything is related to over operator in SQL 2012 and 2016. But there are a lot of functions related to formatting and date time operations, but those are not you can say logical ones, like using as per the logic. Those are like value oriented, single value giving functions and all. So that's why I just covered over operator. Then we use lead and lag to calculate the difference between the next order for the placed by the customer. Then we did paging with the normal way, and then second we did with offset and fetch. Then also we used first and last, you can say first value and last value functions to get the first value of the last value order placed by the customer, partition by customer. and then we just use this one if if and choose, and I showed you how the concat works in SQL 27. We created this complex query interview question for this, creating match with all the countries with each other without repeating, vice versa scenario. Then N as highest salary, then getting the second highest salary as per the department, or you can say department was second highest salary, then getting the all the person directly or indirectly working under manager 2 using recursive CTE as I told. So and then was finding the duplicate rows, and then this pivot query I showed it to you. Pivot is simple, so you can look into my other lecture to understand how this pivot works. Then calculating the space using length and data length. So as I told you, length function ignores the you can say at last spaces, and also data length you need to use, because if you are calculating length of a password, you need to use data length. You cannot ignore, because space is also calculated as a character. Now coming to back to this optimization of this query. Now this query took around 1 minute 11 second, gave 384 records. Now what is really happening in this query is getting the student, getting its year, and getting the last date of birth when the person was born in that year. So means for all the student it will pass the year and will get the last date of birth for that year. Means if there are 100 students of same year, it will get the 100 times the last date of birth for that year. Okay, so how we can simplify is, as I just need year and the last date of birth in that year. So I use CTE. So first I got the query year and the last date of birth, and then I just joined this CTE with student on the base of date of birth, and if I execute, the same output can be get in 0 second, almost 0 second, and 384 records the same data. So this is how I just optimized this query. So this was one of the interview question, and I found it interesting to include in this lecture. So I hope I have cleared you all the things, but if you still have any confusion, you can contact me through my email ID, that is yogesh.mehal@gmail, using my Skype ID, and I will be uploading script and the database backup on my website, that is textfire.in, and my YouTube channel is Textfire. You can subscribe to it for the latest and any new lecture upcoming. So also you can contact me on my phone, and that is +91 9023 26 2520. So you can contact me through my phone also. I'm also online on WhatsApp, so you can contact me through this number. I hope you like the lecture. If there is anything, I know I'm a little bit fast, but I will be uploading the script and the database backup, so you can execute line by line. If you have any question, as I told you, you can contact me anytime. So stay healthy, keep learning. Thank you.